Hey guys, my name is Cody Jones with Jangus Genetics LLC, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about contracts. I had a subscriber ask me, what does a contract look like? And when I first got started, I read Greg Judy's book. I believe it was No Risk Ranching is the one that he kind of lays out his custom grazing lease and his land lease. And I would definitely point you to that book. Anything Greg Judy's good, but I think it's the No Risk Ranching that he had those simple contracts. And so I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an insurance agent. I'm just a guy on YouTube. So I've got some experience, with landlords, picking up leases, custom grazing, and those different things. I'm a business owner, but do your own research. Make sure you're talking to your insurance agent. Make sure you're talking, if you have a lawyer, make sure you're talking to them. And the biggest thing I would say is a contract is only as good as the two people that are shaking hands on it. And I really do believe that. Any more than that, if you have to hire a lawyer to enforce a contract, or if your landlord has to hire one to put it on you, things have gone terribly wrong. It's all about communication, trust, doing what you say you're going to do, and taking care of your people. And if there's a breakdown there and something's not happening that you expect to be happening or they expect to be happening, you need to be able to have that conversation and maintain that trust. We want to take care of our, as a farmer, I want to take care of my landlord's property. I want to improve or work to improve, at least maintain the quality that they've got. Their property value. If I could do something to improve it, I want to do that. And I might ask to be compensated. If I want to go into a property and I want to put up all new perimeter fence and I want to put on a pond or a water system, and I'm going to, clear brush, clear trees, I would like to be compensated for those. So the contract that you have is where you write all those things down, where you hash out all the agreements. And it's important. The reason I like to have a written contract, I really think they're essential, is because when you have the conversation on all of these different things that you have to do, and that you want to do, and that you're expected to do on both sides, you have a written agreement. Everything's there. And if nothing else, you could say, this is what I'm expected to do. This is what you're expected to do. And if you ever have an issue, say, we talked about this, and it's fine if it, or what, like, let's say landlord says they're going to build a corral or something, and you say, I know we kind of talked about this, but I'd like to keep my gates, but for now I'm going to set up a temporary corral so I get my cattle loaded, or something like that. There's just a lot of different things that can come up. And if the more experience you get, the more comfortable you'll be, the more you may or may not want to put in there. I would say this: over promise, under deliver. Don't say that you're going to do something you don't have any intention to do, or you don't have the financial means or the ability to do. Be very realistic. Keep these contracts, especially when you're starting out. If you're not going to have a lawyer look at them, keep them simple. And again, it all goes back to the trust and the relationship that you're building. Do what you say you're going to do. Maintain communication with your landlord, and just be a good person. And everything is going to work out when both parties have those kinds of intentions. The intention to take care of each other, do what they say they're going to do, and communicate if something falls apart. But the big things that I'm really looking for is I want you to know that I'm going to take care of your property. I'm going to do my best to maintain it the way you expect. We're going to keep the cattle contained, keep up the perimeter fences, interior fences, make sure that we're not draining all the water. I'm covering all these expenses, XYZ. I cover whatever it is, water, electric. If we're going to do some dirt work, we need to have that conversation, because it's your land. I'm just I'm here as long as you want me to be, and I want to be here for a long time. So that's where we come into trust and communication, and we really are building relationships. Most of my landlords are like family to me. If they need some help or they need some beef or something, we're just, I enjoy sending them pictures, showing them what we're doing, making sure that we're keeping in communication. We're building that relationship, maintaining it. So perimeter fencing is a big one. Letting them know that you have insurance on stuff, on the cattle, you've got liability insurance on the property that you're managing, you're working on. Talk to your insurance agent about that. let them know where your cattle are at, those kinds of things. I think signage is always good. I'm still kind of struggling and trying to make sure I get that everywhere, but having your name and phone number on all the gates is I think is a good idea. Cattle management under, farm leased by, those kinds of things. Hunting, fishing, those kinds of things. If you're going to talk about it, now's the time to talk about it. I'm always really scared to kind of talk about that. My dad's got a lot of leases. Most of the ground he was running when I was a kid was leased, and everybody has a different opinion. Some people don't have an issue with it, but while you're talking about it, while you're hashing out all these details, to me, hunting and fishing is a secondary thing. If they don't mind if you're doing it, that's great. I love to hunt and fish. It's a beautiful thing, but it's definitely not something I'm going to put my business at risk for. So, if you don't have that conversation, you don't just show up with a deer rifle, be shooting deer on somebody else's land. I think that's highly irresponsible. I think it's a good way to get kicked off. People are very protective of certain things, and have that conversation up front, and put it in that contract if you would. It might save you some time later. Make sure that your landlord knows that if you leave your cattle in a paddock so long, or you run down a lane and you get a 6-foot trench or something, that you're going to maintain the land there, level it out, or whatever you're going to do. With the rotational grazing system, not a big a deal, but lanes and stuff, who's responsible for that? Do they expect you to rotary mow it every year? Kind of lay out your expectations there. And anything else. I mean, there's just so many things that are so individual, specific to you and them. And it's kind of a neat process to find out what's important to them. Make sure you put that in the lease. I had a guy that just loves to rotary mow, so he likes to rotary mow it every day, or every year. And so, that would be a good thing to put in the lease, that he's going to rotary mow it, a few days after you take your cattle off or whatever. It's a great service if they want to do it, and you can time it right. There's a lot of things. If they want you to stock a pond, or they want you to put in a pond, having that conversation, writing those down, those are huge. But keep it simple. Again, the big things: when you got to pay them and how much. What are your responsibilities? What are their responsibilities? And their protection is that if I die, my wife knows how much they're going to get paid and when. My wife knows where the cattle are. It's because it's all on the contract. If they die, I've got access to this land to be able to remove my cattle. It's a contract. It's a relationship. I always think that if there's an issue and they want me off, we're going to work to that. If it's not an annual contract that you sign, if it's just an ongoing contract, you always got to think, if people get sick or pass away, you might have that in there, that I've got 30 to 90 days or whatever X amount of time to get my cattle off. That's super important. I would definitely have that on there. Access to facilities, access to barns, stuff that we want to use, access to equipment, whatever it is, you want to put that in there. And again, it's all about communication, and be respectful. Take care of, be a good steward. I think that's super important. Whatever you're doing, be a good steward to the land, to the people that you're working with, to the livestock, and do what you say you're going to do. Be a man of your word, or woman of your word, or whatever. And just again, these contracts are important. I think they're good to have. I do have some old handshakes that I inherited from my dad, but it's nice to have a piece of paper. It's good, it's a peace of mind for them to know that if they pass away, their descendants are going to get paid. I'm going to get my cattle off. I'm happy to help with whatever, because we've got that relationship built. If they need anything, let me know. Hey, I've got a tractor. I'm going to be here, 3 days in the wintertime or whatever. If you need me to blade your driveway, I'll throw that in there too. Whatever it is. It's really neat to have an opportunity to be able to build a new relationship with a new landlord, new cattle, custom grazing owner. Or even if you're just watching this and you're trying to do business with a new young farmer or a new farmer, and you're trying to figure out, what should we do? If you have the means, I guess it never hurts to have a lawyer look it over. But again, find somebody. If you're a cattle owner and looking at leasing out your cattle or letting somebody custom graze them, or if you're a landowner and you're looking to find a young person to come in and manage your land, it's really good to call some people and ask around about their reputation. I think that's super important. I will throw that into this video. You know, interview them. If you can, go see their cattle, go see, you know, a farm that they've been operating. You know, realize that it's the real world and not everything is perfect. But work with somebody who wants to rise up and meet your expectations, and wants to work with you and work with you long term, because having to do this all the time is it's tough. If you're overly hard on somebody, and you know you're not lenient or gracious if they have a little mistake or something that they offer to fix, and you're always kicking people off, trying to find somebody better. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't kick people off if they're not doing what they say they do, and you need to find somebody better. Absolutely. Quick to fire, slow to hire. You know, but slow to hire for the idea that we want to work and maintain with you for a long term, because having to find somebody new all the time to come in and do this kind of thing, and you know, it's just hard. Well, either way in that relationship, you know, if somebody's going to call you and take your money on a large piece of land or a small piece of land, and you're kind of nervous about it, find out about their reputation, ask them for a few references. If they would give you a bad reference, run. You know, but vet the people that you're dealing with. Make sure they've got a reputation, and don't be afraid to, you know, try somebody new. I'm not telling you everybody needs a chance, but it can be difficult. You know, depending on the scale that you're at and how much risk you're willing to take on. Try to find somebody who has a good reputation, even if they don't know a whole lot. They're willing to learn. They're trying to learn. Make sure that they've got the energy and the ability to do what they say they're going to do, or they're working towards it. And you know, keep your expectations real. And the biggest thing is keep in communication, keep working on those relationships, building trust. Just working to better your community, and you know, doing what you say you're going to do. I think that's super important. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you learned something from it. Just be real with people, and they'll be real with you, is the biggest thing I could say. Like, subscribe, follow for more. Thanks.